with a strong business acumen. He began his career in the merchant navy and sailed for 10 years on oil tankers before finally kicking off his entrepreneurial journey, leaving behind his flourishing career in the merchant navy to start Dineout with a vision to create a dining experience for the Indian consumer. With over 12 years of experience, he has positioned Dineout as a premier platform, not just in India, but also expanded its reach to international markets. Currently, he is responsible for Dineout's expansion and SaaS products distribution outside of India. I'd like to welcome you to SIVM Pune, sir, albeit virtually, for our event Chai with Entrepreneur. I'm glad that you're holding a teacup to yourself. The
I
aim of
have
this
water.
event, all right, sir. The aim of this event is to know our entrepreneurs better, get a glimpse of their journey, and learn from their experiences. We like to keep the show
Let
interactive
me just
and
silent.
format.
Let me
Yes.
just put my phone on silent now.
Sir. No problem.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
go
sir.
ahead.
So we like to keep the show interactive, the format semi-formal. So you could grab a cup of tea and give us some charcha. So that's the idea of the show. We are elated to have you again join us today, sir. And I'd like to introduce our interviewer for today, Mr. Jaswin Varghese. And over to you, Jaswin.
Um, Hi, sir. How are you doing? So you're on mute?
Am I? No,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am not.
Now you're fine. Now you're fine.
Yeah.
Hi, sir. What an honor, what a pleasure it is to have you right now with us. I mean, I could have never dreamed of having, sat with you and had a conversation like this.
Why?
I mean,
Why you could not dream? You.
because you guys are there. I mean, you guys are one of the most successful startups we have in India at the moment. But
I
before we
think
start,
this is one thing that I want to, sort of break, because you guys are starting young. There's nothing, and I'm not saying it as a theory or theoretically. Uh, I think access to anyone is very easy as long as you want it, right?
true.
I really want to meet maybe Barack Obama. I'm sure if I try, if I put my head into it, I'll be able to do it. But मुझे वो करना नहीं है, right? So it's not that difficult.
Okay,
Yeah.
so before we start, I would like to share a little story that I had from the last year, 2019. When I came to Pune for the first time, I had a couple of friends with me, and we were planning to go out. And when we did go, we had this reservation. I did not know that it was booked on Dine Out then. But when we got the bill and when we had to pay, it was almost half the amount. It actually blew my mind, right?
Is it?
And yeah, and I was like wondering, how are we living in a place where the bill is like maybe 14K and it's just shunted to almost 8K, and we were wondering how is a company existing, because I was a Zomato user, and in my journey I always used that as a medium. And when I came to this, and after that experience, I started using Dineout, and I became a true believer, let me tell you that. And before we get into the nitty-gritty details of
Was
it,
this scripted? Was this story
no, no, no,
scripted?
no. This is totally me. This is totally me. If you can ask my friends, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah. So before we start all of that, I'd like to go back to where it all started. How was
Yeah.
Dine Out born?
Uh, how was Dineout formed? Actually, Dineout was conceptualized way before when I joined, right? My co-founders, my partners, we are all friends since nursery. We've gone to the same school, same bus, nursery. Everything has been sort of together. So and I was in the merchant navy, as you said, that there were others somewhere else. Somewhere Ankit was in UK, Sahil was in US, Nikhil was here. So whenever we used to come back on holidays, we used to sort of think what we have to do. कुछ तो करेंगे and then कुछ करना है, वो जो typical boy talk होता है, वो सब हम लोग करते थे. And and so actually what happened was that I was hell-bent कि मुझे तो I have to complete my captain exam. I want to become Captain Vivek Kapoor before I sort of hang up my boots from Merchant Navy. And Sahil and Ankit came back from their whatever UK and US, and they said that we're starting it. Okay, we're starting this because obviously something like this did not exist in India. Okay,
Right.
when we used to sort of go out, there were apps which helped people sort of reserve tables, and reservation in India was not a concept at that time as well.
True.
In 2012,
Right.
reservation was not a concept at all. Uh, so they started. They said that we're starting it and we need your help. And because I was on a holiday, they said, before you go on ship, just be with us for 6 months. And I said, okay, I'll do that. I learned something new. And that was sort of the tipping point. But what I did was I researched a lot also, right? There was this company which is, I don't know if you read about it, Open Table, right? Open
Right.
Table
In
is
the
world's
US.
largest, is the biggest table reservation company. They bought Book My Table in UK, and that was a very big deal. So we thought that we could sort of build that for India. And there was obviously Zomato at that time, but they were just yellow pages. They were just sort of discovery. There was nothing more to it. There was menu pages on that, what to eat, where to eat. You could scan, but there's no reservation there. There's no discounts there. There were no deals there, because every restaurant was willing to offer something in order to promote themselves, right? So we just sort of capitalized on that and we started. And yeah, so one day I decided that I will not go back sailing. We will just stay here, and we will do what seems to be the right thing to do at that point in time. And and to be fair, and completely honest, we just did not know what all could go wrong. So as they say, right, ignorance is bliss. Ignorance was truly bliss. We did not dwell too much into what ifs. We just dwelled into, and what we thought was, what now, and how we build. What if for something. And I'm honestly telling you, they say law of attraction, they say you can sort of whatever, but we did not think of failure even once. Failure as in, obviously everything was not hunky-dory. We always thought that if there was a roadblock, we need to solve it, and we need to move ahead.
Right.
you know so it's not that we did not fail. We did fail, but it was more around learning and
A
how we could
learning
sort of solve
experience.
that problem. Yeah, that was more on that front.
Wonderful, sir. So you guys are coming from all varied backgrounds, just like you said. All of them were stationed at different locations on the globe, and all of them coming together for one particular thing.
It happened on a BBM chat, actually. At that point, Blackberries were
Blackberries, yeah.
so it
Uh,
all the business plan was done on a BBM chat
how
between
strange, how
yeah,
strange the things happen, right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
but when you are on, even on the BBM chat, when you guys are mulling over this, did your families think it was crazy that you guys are leaving your high paying jobs and starting out on a limb outside, the cushion and comfort of the job that you are trained to do, and something that you have been doing for the past couple of years? How did the families manage that? Because something of me, even if I'm starting out on a limb, my parents will ask me, "Pagal ho gaya kya?" Pehle jo, whatever you used to do before, you continue doing that because you're good at it, maybe. So was there any strain?
So
Yeah.
definitely, exactly. We also got the same reaction. Pagal ho gaye. The other reaction in addition to this, what we got was कि इनको सिर्फ दोस्तों के साथ रहना है, तो
Right,
ये
right.
बहाना मार रहे हैं काम करने के लिए. इनको कुछ करना नहीं है. ये सिर्फ they are just buying time to sort of stick together and do masti and to while away their time, because that was the first thing. And the other thing also, which came to a couple of them, I wouldn't like to name, but one of the set of parents, they thought that ab iski shadi kaise hogi, uh, whatever they were thinking like that. So 100% there were doubts, because we were not we were well established in our professions. We were right there. We were earning. We were as relatively good at our jobs as well. We were not, and quitting everything and doing, starting going back to the drawing board was definitely a huge step for us, but it was a bigger step for everyone around us as well.
Right, because they have to sustain the change as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. So they have to sustain the change as well. And I had never worked on land. My parents had never seen me working because I was always on holiday when
I'm
I used to
sure,
be
yeah.
here on shore. I always used to come on a holiday. So when I decided to do this, it was definitely a cultural shock for everyone, and they thought that अब क्या होएगा इसके लिए टिफिन बना के भेजना पड़ेगा हमको उस
And
ऑफिस
and
या
even in 2012, it's such a strange concept. Even the startup journey for everyone was just beginning. It's not
yeah.
like things were established
No,
well.
nothing was established, and the biggest thing was that uh, I think they got their heads around whatever we were doing, and they thought that we were serious was when we raised our angel round.
Oh,
When we raised our angel round, that was, so we started off on 29th of February. We went live with Dineout, and we raised our angel round in August in 2012. And that's when they thought that हमने तो इनको पैसे नहीं दिए, but अगर कोई बाहर वाला
right.
पैसे दे रहा है इसका मतलब
तो
कुछ
कुछ
सही
तो बात है.
कुछ seriously कर रहे होंगे ये लोग. So that was the first time when things got serious, and in fact we also got serious about a lot of things, because then it's not just your money, right? You feel the
It's
pressure, you
someone
feel,
else.
yeah, you see that someone else has sort of really
Right.
believed in you and given you something, and you need to sort of make something out of it, right?
Right. So even when you were talking about the investor, I mean, when you started Dineout, how was the customer reaction to everything? Because it was still new in India, right? It must have been hard, getting heads to turn towards you.
No, customer reaction, we were way ahead of our time reservation. सबसे important बात था कि we had put a date of 29th of February to go live with the Dineout website, and we did not have enough restaurants to go live with, so we started off in Delhi only. And the idea was to sort of ensure that we had assigned 25 restaurants to each four of us, that we have to ensure that we get 25 restaurants, so we'll have about 100 restaurants to go live with.
That was the
And
initial target.
that was the initial target, 25 to, so about 100 to 150 restaurants we thought that we should go live with. uh, and uh, and जब हम रेस्टोरेंट्स को जाके बोलते थे कि हम आपके लिए आप टेबल रिजर्वेशन आप भेजिए, आप हम we will do table reservations for you, and we'll send you more diners. So the restaurants used to say कि खाली तो पड़ा है तो टेबल रिजर्व करने की क्या जरूरत है, right? People can just walk in. So they did not understand the value or core proposition of the business. They thought that खाली पड़ा है. And diner जब हमने वेबसाइट खोल दी थी तो डाइनर बोलता था कि अरे रिजर्वेशन की जरूरत क्या है, खाली तो पड़ा है तो हम वैसे ही चले जाएंगे. So it was like a double whammy, right? So we had to sort of ensure that people understand the value of the business from the restaurant side as well, and from the diner side as well. So diner side, the value proposition was clear. If you reserve a table, if you go through us, you'll get like
Get customers.
you'll get 10%, 15%, 25% discount. And from the restaurant, then we created value props, right? We created our sales pitches. We created how we can show value. We created said that so to give you an example, because everybody's an MBA student here and you would understand what I'm trying to say. uh, so because restaurants did not see value in just table reservations, what we told them was that we'll give you table reservations in lean hours where the table is anyways going empty,
Empty.
right? Empty, and you don't have to give me any upfront money. We thought that we'll charge them 5,000 rupees or X thousand rupees for listing them on the website, and that's where immediately हमको मुंह पे थप्पड़ पड़ा कि क्यों तुमको 5,000 कोई देगा, तुम्हारी औकात क्या है, right? So that's when we thought that okay, we should not ask for 5,000. Our payment model should be performance based. So आप मुझे तब दो जब मैंने आपको डाइनर भेजे, sort of a thing. So that's our initial basic business model, and then we kept on pivoting, and we're pivoting till now. Every 6 months or 3 months we pivot.
If there is no innovation, there is not going to be a business.
We pivot. Our sales strategy changes. Our products change. Our products get added. we, yeah. So
Even the story about the angel investor, the first person to take a step in believing in you guys, even that is an interesting story.
yeah.
I
So
mean,
he was a customer. He was a customer. So we clearly thought. So हमने within our own heads, right? We create our business plans and we just don't think about the user, because that's what we want to create.
yeah.
So we had created a website and we thought that अब booking आएगा, and we were waiting कि कोई booking आ जाए, and there was no booking. And so the first thing you do is that you reach out to your friends and family. You reach out to your friends and family ki boss, if you're going out, the only thing that you have to do is you have to go through Dineout. You cannot go directly. So friends and family, and when we told them, they said ठीक है हम चले जाएंगे. So उन्होंने बोला अब क्या करें. मैंने आप वेबसाइट पे जाके अपना टेबल रिजर्व कराओ. बोलते वेबसाइट पे क्यों, आई एम कॉलिंग यू ना, आप कर दो रिजर्व.
Yeah.
That was one again learning. People don't in 2012 they don't want to log on to
Go to
website.
website, yeah.
There were no apps also. उस टाइम पे
Yeah.
तो ऐप भी नहीं थी.
MB बहुत महंगा था.
तो हमने फिर सोचा कि अच्छा, तो अब हमको थोड़ा पिवट करना पड़ेगा. We'll have to add like a call in.
Phone call
तो
service, yeah.
phone call service. So we started a call center with two people, with me and one other one. So that was our call center. And in the morning we used to do restaurant onboarding, and in the evening I used to take calls to send reservations. So yeah, so ऐसे होता था. And so that is why I'm saying it is. And this is how the investor sort of came in. He got a number from somewhere, and he called, and we reserved a table, and then next day he got a discount also, or something like that. And then next day we did like a feedback call as to how was your experience,
Okay.
etc. And he really got sort of interested, and then he reached out. And अब उसको क्या बोलने की, कॉल पे मैं ही था जो आपकी reservation करा.
You can't sell yourself short, can you now?
Yeah, so that's how it sort of came out.
Wonderful. I mean, when we are looking at Dineout, improving at such a rapid rate, I can only imagine the kind of dynamics that you guys are having in between each other. Was it smooth sailing, like you are part of? I mean, was it easy to go with your friends like that directly? Did it affect friendships, or did it affect the way that you guys behaved with each other after that?
No,
How did the dynamics work?
It was not smooth. It was not smooth at all. We fought a lot. We still fight a lot. But initially, we did not even know our temperaments, right? We did not know our strengths and weaknesses. But what we knew that all of us are 100% committed to the business. So the confusion which used to set in at that point of time was that all four of us used to solve the same problem. Whenever there was a problem, all four of us just went in that direction and thought that we'll be able to solve it. Slowly, and that sort of obviously created confusion. Then that's the time when we learned how to sort of divide our KRAs, divide what we have to do, understand what he's good at, what I'm good at, and if he's good at something, then I should stay away from because he's good at it. And if he's doing something wrong also, then we have to give him the freedom to do it wrong, and then sort of correct himself, because we knew that everyone's sort of committed. तो लड़ाइयाँ तो बहुत हुई हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा हुई हैं, and अभी भी होती है. But I think
well, I guess you have marked sort of territories
उससे initially so now we've sort of matured, right? When we started off, we were 28. Now we're like 35, 36. So now we've sort of matured in a way ki how to deal with the differences. Earlier, we used to sort of have a go at each other and make a mockery in front of teams also. But the good part was that none of us had egos, right? And everything was back to normal maybe after an hour. And so our teams used to say कि आज तो लड़ाई हो गया, तो आज तो अलग-अलग हो जाएंगे सब लोग. मतलब this is the end of
that bad.
That bad. But within 1 hour, they themselves used to not sort of understand कि कैसे हो रहा है, कि how they're still sitting together and having lunch. So
I think we need to learn a lot about temperament and understanding between each other.
Yeah, I think this is whatever I've learned the biggest learning, one of the most important learning is going to be, for me, I don't know for others, for me is that uh, ego ruins businesses. And if you're egoistic, if you think that why I should not be given that credit, or I should not be doing that job because he's doing, or something like, you really have to understand, and you have to be fair to yourself and not the other person. You have to be fair to yourself, because if you become selfish, ki I want glory, I want credit, I want to do this, I want to become why is he doing like that, why am I not doing that, uh, then that's a downright right, and that's doom for sure. So if there are 3 partners, 4 partners, and the bad part was, or I will say the tougher part was, that we were school friends also. So even though our skills were different, our KRAs were different, our job descriptions were different, but we were not at the same level, right? I cannot do product. I cannot do product. So a product person will only do product, who understands that more. So I should keep my mouth shut when the discussion is around product or technology. I would learn it. I would try to give my inputs, but yeah, तो वो वाली चीज होना बहुत जरूरी है when you form a partnership.
Okay, so now we understand how you guys functioned. Now I would like to ask, after, so you guys had an incredible growth trajectory in the first few years itself, right? From going from bootstrapping, I'm assuming, right, to 6 months में angel investing, and then the next 2 years ka timeline, you guys got acquired, right, by Times
Yeah,
Internet. And
times internet.
how did it feel? I mean, getting, because one of the youngest startups, just 2 years and you're already acquired. Somebody believed in the idea so much that they actually saw some
And that too a giant like
white
Times.
giant. Yeah,
Giant
yeah.
like
How
Times.
did it feel for you? I mean, did you like were intimidated by the size of how they approached you, and just like नहीं चाहिए अभी के लिए ऐसा कुछ?
No, we were scared. There was this scare of getting lost in oblivion. There was this scare that you build that brand over 2 years. It's too
Right.
dear to you. It's your baby, and if you go to a larger segment, and your brand gets lost, or the priorities of the business
Mm,
change, and then because see, we did not do it for only money, राइट वी मनी पैसे तो हम अपने जॉब्स में या अपनी जगह जगह पे कमा ही रहे थे
committed, yeah.
we did it for the love of it so it was very important and we were scared uh, and but like I said right ignorance is bliss आधी चीजें डर तब लगते हैं जब तुमको पता हो क्या गलत हो सकता है जब पता ही नहीं था कुछ क्या क्या गलत हो सकता है but we were only consistent on the fact that uh, acquisition did not change us. Acquisition did not change the drive within us. The acquisition did not change uh, anything with regards to what we wanted to achieve with the business. And our business was very clear with the stakeholders of the Times Internet as well. They supported us. They eventually we got to know they believed in our vision only. That's why they did what they did, and there was no need to get scared at that point of time.
So you guys went headstrong. I mean, because you guys already had like key elements in place, and you guys are the ones who are going to be keeping on, the functioning alive.
No, now I think had times not happened, we would not have survived this long.
Oh,
It's the amount of uh, I'll say support, financial, technical, infrastructure support that we've got from them is something that would have been very, very difficult for us to, sort of when
do
we
it
did
yourselves.
ourselves.
Yeah. Did the change blow up? As in, did it grow exponentially right after you guys were acquired?
We So after our acquisition, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we've done about 5 acquisitions within Dineout.
Yeah.
So it's been 5 acquisitions. The fifth one is going to be announced soon. We will have like a press release soon. But we've done 4 acquisitions post getting acquired. All of them under the Dineout brand only. So yes, we did explode because we clearly had the money to do what we wanted to do. we had the infrastructure, we had the support, and we executed that. And not just on the bandwidth, from maybe we went from Delhi to 20 cities, but the fact that we went from a B2C product to a B2B product as well.
B2B product as well, yeah.
Right. So not many of you would be knowing that when you go to maybe a Theobroma, the billing system is mine. If you go to a social, when you give your phone number at the concierge there's a tablet, right? Everybody is gone to social or Mama Goto. That tablet is provided by me. That's our technology. If you fill in a digital feedback form in any of these restaurants, if you go to Copper Chimney, if you go to Mama Goto, if you go to social, 5-star hotels as well, those feedback forms are me. We provided that digital feedback forms. So the SMSs, the loyalty point system that the restaurants are running. So we almost 10,000 restaurants across India use our technology stack, which people don't know because generally diners are only sort of seeing it from the B2C lens. But that is how we sort of grew, and today we are the largest B2B restaurant technology provider in the country too.
Wow. So if I understand it right, you just captured everything under the restaurant banner, except
that's
for
what we want to do. Yeah, that's what we want to do actually, from a technology perspective.
So I can't even say that you guys are Zomato because you've gone way beyond it.
So we're bigger than Zomato in terms of technology, the restaurant tech. Our focus. So the thing is that, again, we did not set out with this vision. We started interacting with the restaurants when we started off, and the restaurant owners started telling us that this is what the problem that they're facing. And we started building on that, and it sort of clearly panned out into a successful business model, and we're still doing that. And my international growth or my international plan does not have Dineout. It's only a B2B stack, which is Inresto. Which is Inresto. Yeah. So Inresto would become like a AWS for restaurants. Yeah. So you could say that we're like the Amazon Web Services for the restaurants. We could give the restaurant a loyalty system. We could give a billing system. We could give a feedback system. We could give a waitlist management system. We could give a supply chain management system, material management system, everything.
Yeah. Everything POS to the kitchen, everything you guys handled.
Everything.
I mean, even not just in India, you've been expanding like crazy within the restaurant sector within India. But even if you go internationally, Dineout and Inresto brand has been making such a splash in like multiple countries. And I think you are spearheading everything, right?
I am taking care of the international expansion. Yeah.
Right. I mean, with such a illustrative career, behind you with the Merchant Navy, and maybe that has helped you in some way to navigate the new markets, or is it something of a new key strategy that you came up with for that particular thing?
See, clearly, if the DNA of a restaurant problem remains the same, right? If a restaurant needs technology in India, they would need the technology. A restaurant would require the same technology outside India as well, right? It's just that we need to figure out how we show the currency and the time zones. That's and you get local integrations in place. So it was a very, very, I would say, easy decision to make. That we our technology is such that there are going to be a lot of takers outside India as well. We just need to understand which market should it be. So we've been to London, we've been to we've done all our surveys, and in the next year we kind of identified which markets that we need to sort of apply in. We're heavily working aggressively in Saudi Arabia and Dubai already, but you would see other countries as well soon.
Right.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I mean, beautiful story of your growth right from India, just like less than a decade, and growing to such a huge
but I don't think so. There are startups which see, the thing is that
even then
you grow only because you're not you just have to be hungry. I think you just have to be hungry and restless about what you want to achieve. If you're happy with whatever, then at the end of the day, whatever gives you happiness. If you're happy with and content with whatever you have, then we were not content with whatever we had. So we continuously want to sort of make things, build things, do things, expand things. Yeah,
I think that drive was innate between all of you.
I think we complement the each other's this thing as well. Because sometimes what happens is my other co-founders become too over ambitious and lose a sense of the ground. So one of us sort of pulls him back. Boss, wait, you have to sort of do that. And if sometimes I do that, and then I got sort of. So there's a proper maker checker system that we built.
Now, so with all the acquisitions that you did, we go right from Investor, we go right to Gourmet Passport and Talkers. How did you manage handling all of these at the same time? Because that's a huge thing to come under one banner, and managing all of that, it's still.
So you're saying managing the team, or you're managing the product?
No, so the product are managed by the team, right? So because with each new entrant, there is some sort of new dynamics that are being formed for that particular, because it's an integration of sort. Yes.
So so we've got a set of almost about 10 co-founders within our team only now.
You guys gave them all co-founder statuses.
Because they are co-founders, right? They are co-founders. The Investo has Vijayan, Talkers has Suneet and Tanmay, Gourmet Passport is Rocky Sir and Sid, Rocky Mohan, right? Gourmet Passport, Rocky Sir is the founding, part of the lineage of Old Monk. His family owns Old Monk as the brand, and he started Gourmet Passport, and he's like a mentor and guide and to everyone, all of us. But what we've done with the co-founder, the team, our leadership team, is that we're not hierarchical. We four ourselves, because we work as friends. So the leadership team also works as friends. We're not very hierarchical. Even like a normal anyone, right from the bottom most, they can easily give me a call, or anyone in the co-founding team. I'm part of almost about 250 WhatsApp groups on my from my office, and it's not that I am just like I'm like someone who's just sort of monitoring. We are very, very active on almost all of them, and we give our ideas. Obviously we let everyone sort of drive it, but we are very, very part of the business, and because accessibility is one thing which helps people sort of open up, and helps people sort of bubble with their ideas. And with the co-founding team also, we've made such like a camaraderie within amongst ourselves, that if you're right for the job, then doesn't matter that I will drive, then you'll only drive that thing. So it's not just because I'm part of the Dineout founding team, I'll do only this. It's not that at all. So that's why we've got a very democratic setup in the office. People say open door policy. I don't like that word of open door policy. Is I just say that I'm available 24/7. So anybody can call me at any time, and not just me, everyone. So that's what the culture is.
So when so this is Dineout and all its offerings. When we go to the different rivals or the competitors, and they are coming up with so many marketing strategies and so many things that is coming on here and there on all social media and stuff, how is Dineout navigating through all of this? Is it like really focusing more on customer engagement in terms of ad sport, or how is Dineout navigating through all of this?
Yeah, it's very easy. We just do whatever our restaurants tell us to do. Our business model is based on the fact that what our sort of clients want us to do, and we build that. Simple, right? And while you're saying that people, it's a very competitive market, but I am not competing against Zomato, because I'm a far more bigger technology stack, right? On the B2B side. They are a very big company on the B2C side. Although we started table reservations, and then they later sort of
exactly, right. Even in the pay segment, right?
Yes, we started Dineout Pay, and then now everybody. So we started Dineout Pay in 2015. We are still we did it before Paytm too. We did it before Paytm. So today we've got almost about 30,000 restaurants where you can settle your bills through the app. through my Dineout app, and we drive more GMV. I don't know if you. I'm sure you guys understand GMV. We drive more transactions at premium restaurants like maybe Olive or a lot of the drinks or Priyank Sukij or all these outlets than
Top end.
any other player, any fintech company. So you just need to be ahead of the innovation curve, uh, and be there. I mean, that's what it is, right? I think competition is when you have only one product. We've got everything.
Actually, you got everything
Right?
locked down under. So, but now when you say about innovation, right now, as you know, the pandemic is wielding an axe at almost all avenues of the restaurant business. Now, and restaurants are moving to a takeaway model too, and not depending too much on the physical web because the dine-in is dead at the moment.
Correct.
How is Dino dealing with this since it's such a
When was the last
reservation?
time you opened my app?
I guess today
Today? And you
to
did
check.
not see? You
Yeah,
did not see then that we started deliveries too?
yeah, you did. That's a strange, change from
So not
but
just delivery, not just delivery. We did that much before when you got to know. Back in, I'll say, January, we started building direct ordering channels for our restaurants. So
okay.
if you know that there is an Absolute Barbecue chain which is there in Bangalore and South India, Absolute Barbecue's app is built by us, where they have
Oh,
100,000 downloads, where they have
oh,
100,000 downloads, right? So where they could already order. So I am enabling restaurants to have their own home delivery takeaway orders,
oh.
right?
So you're
Where
also catering like to that end where
yes, yes,
standalone apps are also being made from you. It's not
yes,
just you have to come under the Inresto
no, no.
banner.
So
Wow.
we Invest only powers it. And on the Dineout app, how we have to sort of, when the lockdown came about, in March 22nd was the first day that lockdown. On the March 28th, we started Dineout vouchers, restaurant vouchers,
Okay.
where what we did was we asked, and because all our restaurant partners, there was like a running expense, right? Rent,
True.
people,
True.
etc., etc. So what we did was we opened up a channel where a diner, like any diner, could go on the Dineout app, could buy a 500
Okay.
700 rupee voucher
Just
and
to
get a
support
value
the
of,
restaurant.
yes, and get a value of rupees 1,000. So we started in March 28th. That was the first time when we gone live. And we started providing capital to our restaurants. Then on March 28th, then we sort of understood the Dineout app. How do we sort of engage people with our Dineout app? So a lot of home chefs, which was sort of propping up
Oh,
during these time.
okay.
So we did
Yeah.
like an home chef campaign.
Not a
Uh,
bakers, by the way.
Now we're doing a bakers campaign also. Now we're doing like a bakers campaign too, right? Home bakers, which we're calling them home bakers. So we're doing that. Then we understood that restaurants, this year delivery and takeaway is going to take precedence over dining out,
Right.
which we understood. So now on the app, we've digitized so all menus of the restaurants, and now a diner can go on Dineout app and place an order uh, at the restaurant. And we did not have like a delivery fleet like Zomato and Swiggy
Right.
and everyone.
Right.
So we integrated with Dunzo and Shadowfax and delivery.
Oh, okay.
So the restaurants can sort of have orders
And
from
then
us as well. So our user engagement stays, our benefits of gourmet passport stay even on delivery and takeaway, even if dining out is sort of sluggish right now, although dining out is also now opening up
right.
everywhere in
And
India.
in little parts, they are still opening up with
Pune
more
में
space.
you
It will
guys
take
because
time
Pune
for
में
us.
नहीं है, but Delhi is open, Bangalore is open, Calcutta is open, Ahmedabad, Gujarat is open. So dining out is also sort of opening up.
Wow. Sir, when we come, and think about some of the key strategies that you have used. I mean, you've changed how China was functioning before the competitors came in, right? And before the competitors started developing their models in terms of addressing the B2C issues. even in the B2B, when you say that you were giving so much vouchers, you were gaining loyalty from them as well. Because as and when time grew, there is always some sense of discontent between the people who, from the clients basically, who are using your services or using Zomato services. Because I've heard restaurateurs crib about Zomato, not delivering on their promises a lot. Has there been any issue with Dineout with regards to that, or is it loyalty and loyalty that we talk about?
With regards to restaurants, yeah, they definitely there are some issues. Issues to hote rehte hain, but the fact is that there was a logout movement, right? There was this logout movement back in last year 2018 when restaurants decided to sort of log out because of high commissions from delivery partners, because of everything. We started doing it. We were the only sort of company where they did not log out from, and we there was no discontinuity in business with us, because of the fact that we were not just a player, a partner for B2C side of the things where we were just sending them diners through discounts, but we were hand in glove with in their restaurant operations as well.
Right.
They were using our technology as well, right? So if with regards to contactless dining also, with the theme, the title was
Coining
coined
the
by
term
yeah,
itself.
the term was coined by us only, where we've actually sort of done it that the diner would reserve a table at then once he reserves a table, he gets a confirmation, he gets the menu link on his phone, he'll place an order much before then when he sort of arrived, he places an order, he settles the bills through Dineout Pay, and then he puts the feedback through the Investo app, and whatever bill that he's going, the at the end of the day, the kitchen facing point of sale, the
Yeah.
billing system is also mine. So all of the
So
things,
you've
so
closely integrated. Yeah.
these things are connected, and that is why we call it contactless dining, where the diner doesn't have to sort of touch any menu
Anything. Yeah.
or anything, and he just goes out there and he sort of has his
So
food, and the entire goes there. So
you
we sort of
basically
system
removed all the problems from their hand to your own because you're streamlining every single point of
touch
or
point,
checkpoints, and they just have to make the food basically at this point, and
not
you
even
guys.
phone. You have to go the app and reserve, not phone.
That is true.
Yeah,
Uh, what a wonderful scene of events you've
yeah.
gone through. Uh, is there any, because we're sitting right now in a in a virtual room full of thought leaders and entrepreneurs. What is the one advice you would give them that you keep very close to? I know you said about the egoka aspect, when you're working with friends, but other than that, what is the one advice that you keep close to yourself every single day?
I think one thing is that you have to be restless, because if you're not restless, if you're not thinking, if you're not building every day, then there's a high chance of you hitting redundancy, you hitting stagnation. So in order to sort of be in line with the time changing times, you have to continuously think about what innovation will you get in your product, what changes will you get into your product. You cannot just and not be fixated with your own revenue model,
Oh,
because fixated with your own revenue model, and you think कि मुझे तो ये ऐसे ही चाहिए और ऐसे ही
चाहिए.
चलेगा,
If you're
then
stubborn
ऐसे
about
नहीं.
it.
Yeah, too stubborn about it. So as I said, that we pivot our sales strategy every 3 months. Our sales strategy, our revenue model, our products combination, go to market strategy sort of changes every 3 months. मतलब पहले 6 months होता था, अब because of pandemic and COVID,
Pandemic, it's
innovation थोड़ी
also.
ज़्यादा हो गई है, तो और 3 महीने हो गई.
So
So
change is the only constant you have at this point.
yeah, you cannot just think कि, अच्छा, so by the name of it, dine out, we should have stuck with table reservations.
Dining,
Had we stuck with table reservation, we would have ended.
right.
We would have been finished. So the fact is that what kept us afloat was the fact that we kept on innovating, and innovating, and not being afraid of,
Trying,
because if you innovate, obviously you will fail. Certain
take
products
risks.
will work,
Yeah.
certain products will work, certain products will not work, 100%. But the products which do not work will give you a sense of
Insight.
insight which will tell you what will work.
Right.
And you should not be lazy to work on that path of what works. So मुझे लगता है कि ये वाली चीज is the most important thing, that एक भी दिन आप ऐसे मत सोचना कि अच्छा अब मेरा प्रोडक्ट बन गया है and I'm happy now I'll sort of take on the world. ऐसे नहीं होगा, because your product is only good on that particular day in that particular hour moment. The next day, if you don't change your product, and so you need to have constant thinkers around you as well. So you need to build a good team, right? And you need to give them freedom. So by good team, I'm not saying about the co-founding team. I think we would have not reached anywhere.
Technicians as well, yeah.
Technology, business, everyone.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're coming to a close of this session. Before we close, I would like to ask something. You know Christopher Nolan, yes?
Yeah.
One of the most prolific directors. He's coming out with Tenet.
Yeah. I don't know how will we see it, Tenet.
So he's saying that he's going to release it on the screens, but you still don't know if it's going to be possible in India. So if you had the power of reversing, the flow of time, where would you go and what would you change?
Yeah, actually, to be honest, nothing. I would not change anything with regards to Dineout, because touchwood, change क्या तुम करते हो? Change वही करते हो जब तुमने कुछ गलत किया होता है. तो गलतियां तो इतनी सारी करी हैं. अगर वो change कर दे तो फिर हम सीखेंगे कैसे?
You're not what you are right now.
Right. So I'm not, गलतियां तो बहुत करी हैं and आगे भी करेंगे. So I don't think so I would want to change anything. Maybe do it better, you can say that. अगर मेरे को आज फिर से Dineout बनाना होता तो what would be my strategy?
Okay.
So my strategy would be कि I would have started B2B first and then B2C.
B2C.
Yeah, I would have started B2B first.
Yeah, because since it's such a fluctuating thing with the B2C aspect,
not that, because after B2B, starting B2C is very easy, but starting B2C and then starting B2B is tougher.
Because internal workings मालूम पड़ता है, बाद में external में जाता है. Reversing that flow is a bit.
So I would have done everything the same thing, but I think the flow would be a little different. I would want to do everything, but yeah.
If at all we had more time, I would have kept going on with you one-on-one also. I mean, we actually ran out of time before we knew it. I think I would like to open the floor for questions. I think Costa will take over.
Questions. I can read these questions actually.
So before we move on, I'd first of all like to say it was an amazing session. Just this part, the journey is very unique, and a lot of thought-provoking questions about the insights about the industry, even the B2B and B2C aspect that you just shared, and that your work, your work that you've shared with us today was very helpful to, I'm pretty sure, everybody. Before I proceed with the Q&A part, I had one more question. So that is, we did a buzz event that we conducted on our social media, and it was a weird food combo challenge. And we were overwhelmed with the number of entries that we got, and we all had fun. We all had a lot of fun sharing and reading all of these really weird food choices. Some of us had, and we thought we should ask you the same question. And some of our entries, for example, were roti plus gulab jamun, noodles plus curd, and chocolate ice cream with grapes. So we would like to know what your wonderfully weird food combo would be, sir.
I mean, so you want me to sort of tell you a fictitious one or one which I do right now?
Yeah, which you practice. Let's not get into what we could get with it. But
so yeah, I usually have omelets with achar.
Wow, so that could be a definite winning entry, sir. And, we would now move on to our question answers, and I'd request people to come on board and ask their own questions. Give me a second.
So I can see questions on the chat. So do I read those or how do you?
I'll just ask them to come ahead and ask the questions themselves.
Sure.
Bhavesh, could you unmute yourself and ask the question yourself?
Sir, while you were good afternoon, sir. While you were building Dineout, you must have seen a lot of opportunities. That okay, these are also the problems for which solution can be found out, and we could have worked walked on that path as well. So what kept you focused on building the core product of which Dineout is right now?
I think very important question, and it also gives me a sense of your brain activity, that you're also restless like me, right? Because when you're on a path, and when you're doing something, there are 20 things that you would want to do. There are 100 things that ये भी कर लेते हैं, ये भी कर लेते हैं, ये भी कर लेते हैं. I think what kept us on a path, और ऐसा नहीं है कि हमने पूरे 8 साल में we were on a path only all the time. We did come out with stupid products also, and then we had to sort of roll them back or make them redundant or whatever it is. We did all those stupidities too. Uh, but what is important is that we kept on listening to our restaurants, yeah. So that gave us a sense of what is required, sort of eventually. Even restaurants which are the most popular, the restaurants which had a lot of diners going in, right? They actually did not need a table reservation partner क्योंकि वो भरे ही रहते थे. But asking them what is it that they need from us is kept gave us a lot of insights, so which helped us keep our ears to the ground. So always keep your ears, your senses close to your buyers and to your sellers, right? There's a ground rule of any business project, sorry. So आपको वो करने से ही आपको सारे जवाब मिलते हैं. And yeah, that should answer your question.
I'd ask Harsh to unmute and ask his question. Harsh.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Firstly, a very wonderful session, so thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you.
So my question is that obviously due to the corona pandemic, the restaurants are struggling. And how, despite all your help, how are they responding to these changes? And the second part of my question is obviously the tech part and the strategy part in the dine-in business and in the restaurant business has, taken a big shift. So
Sure.
they have like how we jump to light speed and so that sort of. So once this thing is over, how do you see them normalizing to it and going back to the so-called normal? But yeah.
आई थिंक थोड़ा बहुत तो मतलब कोविड ने बहुत सारी चीजें गलत करी हैं हमारे प्लैनेट पे, बट एक चीज जो बहुत अच्छी करी है कोविड ने, दैट ऑल रेस्टोरेंट्स हैव restaurant owners have become chief technology officers. So they've opened up their brain towards technology. They've opened up to they are open to the fact that now a lot of answers, a lot of operational inefficiencies and roadblocks that they were facing can be solved by using technology. So that is one definite win. If I have to answer your question in a direct way, so I think it was very difficult for us to create a sense of relevance for the technology that we had built amongst masses. The class restaurants to lete hi the, but masses has now changed. Now everyone sort of thinks and understands that this problem can be solved through technology, and so that's the difference. If that answers your question, right?
Sir,
I know, Harsh.
Thank you so much.
That does. Cool.
Before the next question, whoever is coming up, please introduce yourselves, guys. And the next question can be asked by Kevalya. Kevalya, you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Hello, sir. Thank you for the insightful session. So my question is that I have generally observed many cafes and restaurants, when they first launch, they tend to give heavy discounts and 1+1 free kind of schemes. But once they gain popularity, they tend to leave such programs and work independently. Now, as a customer, I get attached to that particular discount and that particular cafe. But once, like after they sign out, I realize that such a blunder has happened with me. So how does Dineout ensure that such restaurants stop, like they continue with such heavy discounts and stay loyal to the customer?
Why should Dineout take the responsibility of ensuring that restaurants continue to give heavy discounts? Dineout is not doing that. What Dineout does is that we just help restaurants push their own marketing strategies to the users. So if their marketing strategy is to sort of gain user acquisition through the word of mouth or through discounts, we just help them do that. We give them a platform where they can give those discounts. Whereas once they decide to not give the discounts, then they use our platform in a different way. As a user, everybody wants discounts for sure, but कोई अपना रेवेन्यू आधा क्यों करे 1+1 बेच के? सो जो इनिशियली उसने जो आपको 1+1 या डिस्काउंट दिया था, वो उसका मार्केटिंग एक्विजिशन या कस्टमर एक्विजिशन कॉस्ट था. अब आपको उसने एक्वायर कर लिया है, यू शुड बी अ रेवेन्यू रेकनर फॉर हिम एंड नॉट अगेन लाइक सॉर्ट ऑफ ईटिंग आउट ऑफ हिज रेवेन्यू. तो वो नहीं देगा आपको. So your feeling, if you want discount, then probably you need to discover restaurant which continue, new restaurants every time you dine out. So probably ये आपको करना पड़ेगा अगर आपको discounts इतने अच्छे लगते हैं.
Alright, sir. Thank you.
But post COVID में आपको ये मैं बता देता हूँ, discounts बहुत कम हो जाने वाले हैं.
Yes.
Yeah.
Samajal Datta, you can come on with your question now.
Hi, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah. You are.
Yeah. So my name is Samajal Datta. I'm from MBA 1 Marketing. So it was a really insightful session, and obviously addressing the elephant in the room is the COVID pandemic, which has basically hit the restaurant business hard. My first question is about a particular trend which was emerging even prior to the pandemic, in which the users, in fact, any app user or even the younger generation like Gen Z and millennials were preferring more of an in-house dining experience, and which kind of gave birth to cloud kitchens. So my question is, post the pandemic, when restobiz may take time to come up with dining out experiences, how do you see this trend continuing, the cloud kitchen trend continuing? And
I think cloud kitchen trend, I would sort of not say cloud kitchen. Cloud kitchen is are kitchens which do not have like a physical outlet. All right, they do not. But today, restaurants which have a physical outlet are also have started delivering. You see, 5-star hotels like Oberoi's and Marriott's have started to deliver, right? So clearly, the fact is that in the coming year, people going out will definitely reduce or has reduced already. But that doesn't mean that it has reduced people eating.
Exactly.
From outside food,
Exactly.
from eating food from outside. So delivery is going to take precedence, and everybody should be warm about it. And we clearly see that trend happening across the world, right? Restaurants which had never delivered in their life have started delivering. So and we as Dineout,
Exactly.
we're just sort of
Open up
enabling
a-
them to do that. We are just enabling them to do that. We are giving them additional sort of a vertical or a platform where they can enable their deliveries and whatever takeaways.
Right, sir. So, and my second question is about, obviously, apart from the delivery services, what is Dineout potentially aiming to innovate in this particular sector? And given that you have tons of restaurant clients, what are some of the out of the box innovations you may have noticed which restaurants are doing at this point?
यार इनोवेशन ना सिर्फ पहले 2 दिन के लिए होती है, उसके बाद सब कर लेते हैं. ठीक है, तो इनोवेशन थी पहले so we replaced the paper menus with digital menus. Now everyone is doing it. We did it in London. I remember we had presented our product in a conference in London in 2017, where we had presented our digital menus where people could sort of place orders through their own phones. Now everyone's doing it. With regards to hygiene, going contactless, we coined that term contactless for a reason, that there would be no touch point, right? From reservation to parking to pickup to home delivery, etc. And now everyone's sort of taken it on themselves to make it contactless, and probably we've lost the sense of the word, because contactless does not mean that you will not touch food. Khana to chuna hi padega. So they reducing the touch points is what we meant when we had coined that term. So but now restaurants understand that. So they are very, very finicky, like they were finicky about food reviews. Now restaurants would equally be sort of serious about their hygiene ratings. So that you will see on all aggregator platforms now. There is a hygiene rating, right, where
Right.
so where they've got a sanitization check or maybe something like that, and that's what we are also doing. So
Thanks, sir. That addresses both my questions. Thanks a lot, sir.
I'd ask Arnold to come forward and ask your question.
Good afternoon, sir.
yeah,
My name is Arjun Matthew from MBA 2. So my question is, first of all, thank you for having the GIRF right before the lockdown. Because of that, we had a lot of last minute plans with our friends. So I don't feel missed out after this much of lockdown. So my question is, since you told that you guys do what the clients want you to do. So I have a small pain point, and it would be great if you could address it. That is, if I'm in Pune right now, I know all the restaurants around, so it becomes quite easy for me to choose one. But it's not the case when I go to a new city, like for Bangalore or maybe Delhi for 1 or 2 days. It's a complete new place with a lot of options. So is Dineout planning to come up with some food tools where I get itinerary for 1 or 2 days about the must-visit restaurants, and I could just simply look at my phone and go to that place at that point of time?
but wo to aap, so why should Dineout come up with the food tour? You can also see the ratings, the reviews and all on the Dineout app, right? So that should give you enough sense of what is the place like. I mean, there is we also have listings of most viewed restaurants and most clicked restaurants in a locality or whatever it is. So there are filters in which if you on the app, if you use them correctly, you'll be able to choose what restaurants you should go and visit when you're in a new city. So I mean, that should help. But food tours, yes, we do have gourmet passport nights and all, but they're not with the objective what you're saying. That is more to sort of to suffice for some other objective. I don't know if that sort of answers your question. Food tours and all, you've got other apps and everyone doing it. But yes, if a lot of diners tell us the same thing, then we might as well we will start.
I said this because when you go for a business trip and all, the day is completely packed up. So if there's something in place, it would become quite easy, especially when you're in a new setup. Yeah, that's the reason.
Cool.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Sir, I would also agree that GIRF was such a feast. We loved it. And moving on to the next question, Nikita, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi, sir. I'm Nikita Chitlania from MBA 1 Marketing. My question is, I wanted to ask, with the gourmet passport in the Great Indian Restaurant Festival, how does a restaurant benefit?
With gourmet passport?
Yeah, like how does the restaurant benefit? Is it only from the advertising and visibility perspective, or is there some other angle to it?
So if you studied the gourmet passport model, it is a very, very important model. And you're a gourmet passport user?
No, sir.
Then you would not know.
I saw it though. There's a 3+3 maximum.
Correct. So you could sort of avail only 3+3, right? There's not an unlimited one. So and this is for a reason why we've given those 3 coupons for free, because we want the restaurants to have. So if you liked an experience at a gourmet passport place, that means you will go visit that place again, right? So our gourmet passport users are a very, very they're very niche users, high spending users, and they would want to sort of visit a different restaurant each time they go out, or maybe a couple of times that they go out. So the idea is to sort of give them a benefit for the first time, or maybe partially at the second time. But then if they should be going there without because they like the place and everything, then it's okay, then they can go then and then. So it's more on discovery. The good restaurants want high spenders, and gourmet passport users are all very high spenders. So that's the reason.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if you compare that with Zomato, Gold, which was there, it was why the restaurants have a thing against the other aggregators is because of these unlimited discounts, right? So our stand against unlimited discount is very, very clear. We want to give a benefit to the user, but it is more so on a discovery part and not just for recurring revenue part. Yeah, go ahead.
Jehan, you can come on and ask your question.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
So a wonderful talk. I'm Jihan from MBA1 Marketing. So after coming up with the idea of Dine Out, what were the immediate steps or immediate thoughts that were taken to materialize this idea into a tangible concept before approaching the restaurants?
I think the basic thing was that we created like a dummy website. We had pages we did not even have, so we did that. We whichever meeting we went to for a restaurant, we sort of used to show that pages, and we had like a marketing plan with us. We used to tell the restaurants how we are going to get more diners for you, so because that was very important for them, right? So what is the kind of marketing that we're going to do? How are we going to be sending them diners? What is the pedigree of diners which we're going to be sending them? So that's what we used to do, and before we sort of set out to do other stuff. Yeah, that's what the question is, right?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Vivan Kamath, you can come next.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Vivan Kamath from MBA Leadership and Strategy. I just wanted to understand how important an influencer's role would be, a food influencer's role would be in instilling confidence to customers in bringing them back to restaurants once this current situation is kind of subsided a little.
I think totally depends on the influencer, right? And what kind of market or target audience he's sort of influencing. So if like a 5-star hotel takes up maybe like a street food influencer to sort of influence dining out back again, is not going to help much. Okay, so you need to choose what influencer you use for this particular situation. You as in the restaurant has to choose very intelligently as to what kind of influencer they take. But overall, with the discovery, when it comes to discovery, influencers do matter, because I've seen these influencers they make these videos of food tasting, etc. Within 24 hours, the good ones, within 24 hours, they have massive following and the massive viewership. So it may not directly result into conversion, but it definitely results into, I would say, reaching out to more people, right? It does at least that. So creating like that buzz, that awareness is definitely what an influencer can do for you.
Thank you, sir.
I'd request Swaroop Patel to come in next and ask a question.
How many questions are remaining?
So that would be the last question we'd go with today.
Okay, cool. Swaroop, go ahead.
So, hello, sir. So this is Swaroop Patil from MBA1 Marketing. So it was interesting to hear like how you adapted to like changing things. So dine out is not just about dining out now. It's like home delivery, and you're catering to other businesses also, other restaurants. But dine out, the name literally means going out to dine. So do you think this name, from a marketing perspective, will hinder the like kind of brand image that you're trying to portray, which is not just about dining out now? So what's your take on this? Have you considered like making changes or something?
Theoretically, what you're asking is definitely right. Okay. But practically, what you're saying is may not be the most true to reality. Why? Because lots of brand names in the world today do not have any direct relationship with the product that they have. Then your brand becomes like more like a verb, right? Acha, so if you want to find something, you say Google kar le. You don't say find something, right? So Google has become like a verb, right? If you want to sort of buy something, then you say just go on Amazon, sort of Amazon. Now Amazon, by the word of it, is actually a jungle, right? But we've created those words into nouns, and that's the beauty of it, right? What we intend to do with dine out is become a noun, with home delivery and takeaway as well, right? And dine out does not mean dining out. It could also be that get the food from outside and have it inside, right? So dining out could be that as well. So you need to sort of look at it from various lenses and dimensions. Yeah, I hope I've answered that question.
All right. So that brings us to the end of the session. We also conducted a Dineout consulting competition, and we got some really good submissions from that. And we would like to thank everyone on those entries. Thank you guys so much.
Guys, I've
We
got
would
those entries. Yeah, I've got those entries. They came to me like last night. You need to give me at least 24 hours before I come back with the.
Yes, I understand. So it was a lot of academic work that was going on the site, so we could not really. Anyway, so we would be announcing our winner shortly over the social media handles. And moving on, so it was a pleasure hosting you. We now know the scale of what the company has been able to achieve and what your journey and contribution has been as an entrepreneur. We will definitely remember to be restless and hungry, like you said, and I'd like to thank you on behalf of everyone for spending your valuable time with us, and we hope to stay connected with you.
Sure.
Have a great day ahead, sir, and I'll get in touch with you later.
I love interacting with you. So I love
Thank you so much.
I think a couple of months back, before this pandemic happened, somebody had approached me from Symbiosis only.
Yes.
Symbiosis is so big.
Yeah.
So I was to come to Pune for your entrepreneur cell as well. So I don't know, that didn't happen.
Right. So I hope you can come back maybe when times are better later.
Sure.
Right? We'll definitely host something around, and you can come back to us, sir, if you like the experience this time. And thank you so much, sir.
Thanks.
I would now request the students to stay back on the call after solution.
I'll log off.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, sir.